Welcome back to the channel. As you can see, the 1190, well, there's some things going on. We had to switch a few things up. I just bought this about a week. Hey buddy, go. I bought this thing about a week ago. Took it for a ride or two. I actually did a video on my first ride impression. I'll kind of put it up here. Super capable. I was super impressed with it. Like really impressed with it. But I did buy it used. It had around 7,000 kilometers on it. So I did want to do, first of all, a full out inspection on it. Make sure that everything is tight. Two, she feels a little plugged up. This thing is completely bone stock minus these driving lights. So I'm going to kind of walk you through what I'm doing to it. I'm waiting on parts, but once all the parts come in, I'll kind of film probably a 2 or 3 part series on what we're doing to this thing. Now I do want to say, I think the bike in its stock form is super impressive, and I think it's got more than enough power, but I can't sit still for very long. And every time I buy something, this thing was meant to be, I was just going to keep it pretty stock, and it turned into a big project, FXRT, kind of club style dyna. This thing was supposed to be kept pretty stock, as you can tell. It didn't. The KTM 300, which I think I did a video on it as well, has been heavily modified. And this 500 or the 501 is pretty stock. But I do want to say this 1190 untouched is already really impressive. But you know, I wanted to do a few things to it. I'm taking it to the Baja this summer, riding it from Canada. So I wanted to get it ready for the trip. So let me show you what I'm doing to it. All right, so first things first, the rear wheel bearing had just a tiny bit of play. I half maybe making that up, the tiniest bit, but I thought, you know what, I'm doing 5,000, maybe 6,000 kilometer trips. So rear wheel bearings are getting replaced. Brakes were good, so that's good. The intake, I'm putting the Rottweiler stage 3, 4 intake, whatever they call it. So that's ready to go, just waiting for parts. There's a stock box, of course. I'll do a video of the installation. Once I get the parts, I gotta go to Nashville for 2 weeks, but when I'm back, the parts should be in, and I'll do it up, doing the all the pollution emission control stuff. As you can see, there's a big box back here. That's gonna be gone. This valve here and all that, I believe, it's gonna be out of here. What else? Gonna do the power commander most likely on it. Gonna do an exhaust. I'm gonna put the aero, just the muffler on it. I believe this thing has a big cat setup. I actually haven't looked. I had a 1290 Super Duke R, and it had a huge catalytic converter down there, which I removed. But for this one, it's just gonna be the muffler. I do think I'm gonna put an integrated taillight on it and get rid of these things. Got the KTM bags for it already. They're sitting here. I do like them. I don't think they're made for off-road at all. If you drop the bike, I'll kind of show you the mounting here maybe. If you drop the bike, it's gonna snap. They kind of click into there. Then there's a small plastic, I believe, little arm or little leg that pops right into this little bushing here. It's gonna be perfect for the trip I'm doing because these things are massive. And then once I get to the place, I can just pop them off, hit the dirt. I don't need to bring them. I can just strap on a bag or two on the back. So I'm not too worried about it. But as you can tell, like these things are massive, and I believe it's a plastic. That's a plastic little leg, but I got a really sweet deal on them, picked them up off a guy downtown. So whatever. And I wouldn't ride off-road with them anyways. If I'm doing a couple day trip, there's a lot of pavement, and then I can just leave them in the Airbnb or leave them where I'm at, plop them off, and you don't have this big cage. Now, guys do like that big cage around here with the aftermarket bags because they work as a kind of a, whatever, crash bar. But I don't know. I just like the look of what these things look like. All right, what else? Of course, do an oil change, although it's not even close to its maintenance interval, but I'm gonna do an oil change with the 1050. I got some fork oil. The right seal was leaking, so rebuilding that. I may or may not put some stiffer springs in it. I haven't decided yet. I'll do a walkthrough video on a suspension rebuild. As you can see, you got your dust seal, your retainer clip, You've got your fork seal, you've got a little bushing there or whatever, and then you've got your two, whatever they call them, bushings, whatever they are. So I'm stripping the forks today, but I gotta wait on some parts anyways. So those are gonna sit there dismantled. The headlight, I haven't really ridden at night, so I don't know. Probably leave it stock, although usually stock headlights are pretty garbage. Seat, I did a 5-hour ride when I first bought this, and the seat, I think it's okay. I mean, I think your ass is gonna get sore no matter what you do. And that's that. That should be pretty much all the upgrades. Brakes are good, brake pads are good. So parts should come in about a week, so I'm just gonna leave this thing as is, maybe do a little bit of cleaning up here. And I'm off to Nashville for 2 weeks work kind of trip, half work, half play. And when I come back, I should have all the parts sitting there ready for install. And then I'll probably do a 3 or 4 part video series on the build. If you'd like to see that, do let me know in the comments. And if you'd like a detailed walkthrough of anything, because I think there's a lot of walkthroughs on YouTube, but sometimes they're a little bit spotty. If you want the Rottweiler intake install walkthrough, I'll do a really good video on that. Fork rebuild, happy to do that. The, what do they call that when you remove all the pollution control? I'm not up with all the lingo, but you know what I'm saying. I could do a walkthrough on that. Exhaust, it's 2 bolts, so we won't do a walkthrough on that. So stay tuned for that, and subscribe to this channel, like this video. And with that said, maybe I'll put some videos up here from the Harley stuff or the KTM first ride impression. If you want to check that out, I'll put the video up here for you. And with that said, thanks for hanging out. We'll see you next week. Peace.